If you don't know, by episode 2, this series is a collection of short stories. Clayface is the villain of the week. Spoilers if you aren't up to date with Batman Cape Crusader. This episode starts with an interview between Montoya and Bruce Wayne. Montoya thinks that she is interviewing Bruce Wayne on a recent date that he had with a starlet. He's actually interviewing her to see if she's dirty or not. And after he determined that he liked Montoya, he let her do her police work. As he should, because Montoya is a good detective. He honestly figures out the mystery in the first 3 minutes of the story. But I feel like in this world, metahumans haven't been introduced yet. And so it's the rules of reality that give Clayface more time. I love the trope of a villain getting away by putting a civilian in danger. This trope works particularly well here because Batman is for the people. This version of Harvey is so different, and I'm not gonna lie, I kinda love it. If it wasn't for the fact that Clayface was in this episode, I would believe that this version of Batman had less like magic and superpowers in it. This more realistic take of Two-Face is so good. Where in the eyes of the public, he is a superhero saving the city from criminals. But in reality, he's just a sleazy, dirty prosecutor, which isn't a stretch. Also gives room for Harvey to be in a position to burn half his face. And it would make sense that he would align himself with criminals once he no longer is handsome, because he already banging with them. Oh, I wanted to slap him when I saw him kikiing with the GCPD and then getting in my girl's Montoya's face like that. And I think he gonna get his, so I'm gonna let him rock. Movies and casual fans focus so much on Batman being an expert martial artist, they forget that he is a grade A detective. And this show went out of their way to remind us, while showing us that the reason why good detectives like Montoya can't solve mysteries as fast is because of the restrictions of being in the GCPD. And the fact that they don't have an Alfred and most of their constituents are dirty people who don't want to help. I really try to remember the last time I actually liked Bullock. I want to say maybe Gotham the TV show, like season 1. But he sucks, and I love that they designed him to look like an actual pig. Even though this is a more serious Batman, they still found a way to be very campy. Getting into this Phantom of the Opera type tone, having them actually fence, and then also having this damsel in distress moment, just perfect, honestly. They hit my boy crazy. Look at him, he leaving his body for a second. Clayface had to kill her after this. Notice that she did not pull out her gun in this situation, reaffirming that Renee is a good cop who doesn't resort to deadly force. He does pull out her gun later, but that's after he knocked her out with a pipe and had a knife on my girl Frances. So shout out my girl Frances. I know her first name is Yvonne, but for my sake, I'm gonna call her Frances. I feel like Renee kind of wrote her off as this like bimbo, and she proved herself and bought them some more times. Don't be underestimating us, okay? We got the noggin. I also appreciated her being kind, beautiful, and talented after the smear campaign. Santiago gave us an interview with the vampire, redeeming the name Frances one character at a time. The women in general are just written very well. I was so glad that they kept Clayface white because his motivations only come from a white actor. You mad that they've been casting you as the thug? Like, imagine if every black actor had this state of mind. There'd be a Jack the Ripper every week. I like edgelord Clayface though, especially since he's actually a really good actor, which makes him all the more dangerous because not only can he change his face, but he can give convincing performances. I like this episode more than the last one. Try to drop episode 3 by the end of the day, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and give this episode 5 out of 5 Frankie Flames.